Hello and welcome to my first anime review. Today I will review the insanely popular anime movie Koe no Katachi by Kyoto Animation. But before I start with the story, I want to tell you a little bit about the background. Koe no Katachi was released in summer 2016 by Kyoto Animation and is the movie adaptation of Yoshitoki Oima's same-titled manga, which was first released in 2011 as a one-shot in Besatsu's Shonen magazine, and its first volume was published 2 years later in Weekly Shonen magazine. The manga won the New Creator Prize at the 90th Osamu Tezuka Awards. The anime movie was announced in the 7th volume, and Naoko Yamada directed the film. Naoko previously worked at Kyoto Animation on both seasons of K-On! As well as Tamako Market and Tamako Love Story. The film opened at second place at Japanese box office, behind Makoto Shinkai's Your Name, and grossed a total of 283 million yen from 200,000 admissions, within 2 days of its premiere across 120 theaters. Makoto Shinkai called the film a fantastic piece of work and a polished and grand production which even he would be unable to replicate, which shows Naoko's talent as well as Kyoto Animation's effort. But enough about the background, let's start with the story. Koe no Katachi is a drama anime movie. Our main character, Ishida Shoya, is a young boy who is always searching for entertainment to win over his boredom. He chooses this in the most despicable way. When a new student joins his class, he decides to bully her. This new student is Nishimiya Shoko, our female main protagonist. Nishimiya is a cute little girl and just transferred into Ishida's school. She hopes to have a normal school life in which she can have fun with her friends. But this turns out to be more difficult than you might think, because Nishimiya is deaf. Due to her disability, her classmates start to bully her. Our MC Ishida even goes as far as to throw dirt on her or forcefully steal her hearing aid. Nevertheless, Nishimiya is still trying her best to become friends with her classmates. This disturbs Ishida so much that it leads into a fight between them, and Nishimiya's mother no other choice had but to transfer her daughter to another school. Blaming Ishida for everything, the whole class starts to bully him. Even his so-called best friends start to bully him and hurt him physically too. Years go by and Ishida is driven farther and farther into a state of isolation, in which he cannot see other people in the eyes. He starts to hate everything and everyone, including himself. So he decides to kill himself, but before he can do that, he has to see Nishimiya again, to apologize for everything he has done to her. But will Nishimiya accept his apology? Or will she push him away? And how will these two continue to live their lives? The main focus of this movie lays not in its story, but in its characters. As such, I have to say I'm a bit sad about some of the side characters. But let me start off with our male protagonist, Ishida. I'm assuming that you have an overall grasp over his character as a child. He was despicable and honestly, I think he had a rotten personality. He's always searching for fun, and he didn't think of the consequences, even if it would mean to hurt somebody, for his own personal entertainment. But after the time skip we get to see a different, a new side of him. He regrets everything he did in the past and struggles over his regrets, as well as his new self, that can't even look others in the face. He thought of himself as someone who does not deserve to live, as was shown soon after the time skip, when he thought about committing suicide, but stopped himself from doing so because he didn't allow himself to take the easy way out. So he decides to at the very least try to give Nishimiya a little bit of her happiness back. Now on to the most unique character, Nishimiya Shoko. And what makes her so unique is the way she communicates with the people around her. Over the course of this 2-hour-long movie we can see Nishimiya communicating in many different ways. When she transferred into Ishida's class, she told her classmates that if they want to talk with her, they could do so by writing in her notebook. Another way for her to communicate are her expressions. and I must say that her facial expressions were nothing short but perfect. Nishimiya is a character who keeps her emotions to herself, but she thinks that she is a burden to the people around her, which makes certain scenes even more impactful. And that's about it about her character. I mean, not really. There would still be so much to talk about, but I don't want to go further into details, because I think you should see her for yourself. Just know that she is a very strong character, but also suffers a lot, even though she is trying her best to be just a normal girl. But now I would like to take some time to talk about the side characters, and as to why I'm a bit sad about them. You see, I've read the manga of Koe no Katachi a couple of years back, and what made this manga so good for me were the characters that have been developed in 7 volumes. But the anime just had to cut some corners, since it's a 2-hour-long movie, and sadly this had the result that some of the characters lacked in personality and development. Luckily, the limited screen time didn't affect Yuzuru that much. However, other characters were pretty much just there to be there, and had no real meaning in the anime, which is a shame because characters like Mashiba are interesting but they had no screen time. Now on to the art and animation, and what better way to describe it but with the word outstanding, and that this movie won the Animation of the Year award at the 26th Annual Japan Movie Critics Awards for a reason. Kyoto Animation's works are always a joy for the eye, and give them a film budget and they will blow you away, which they did with Koe no Katachi. There are countless individual instances of elegant character animation. However, this outstanding work makes it difficult to appreciate the highlights when so much effort is put into every single scene. A heavy focus is put into the characters' hands, as the film is full of sign language. The background is almost completely cut off during these conversations, to maintain that focus. Now I admit that it might not be the best animated scenes in this movie, but it shows sublime understanding of body language and attention to details. The backgrounds have a slight blur to them to demonstrate Ishida's isolation to the world. In addition to this blur, the faces of the characters have a mark on them, which are there to let us know that Ishida is unable to look people in the face. While the characters are drawn with soft lines and the soft palette of colors and backgrounds make this movie so pleasant to watch. And finally, the sound. I won't spend too much time on the sound because honestly there is not much to say about it. The first track that comes to my mind when I think about the music in Koe no Katachi is probably My Generation by The Who, because it caught me completely off guard. But this track was as funny as it was fitting for Ishida's quest for entertainment as a child. But apart from that, there aren't many memorable tracks, which doesn't mean that they were bad, on the contrary. I personally like that the movie was constantly accompanied by the soft piano tunes. The sound effects play a big role in this movie because they help us to understand certain scenes, if we look at them from Nishimiya's perspective. And at this point I would like to appreciate the voice actors. Ueno is a bitch, and I think that Yuki Kaneko outdid herself with her performance. Saori Hayami, who played the role of Nishimiya Shoko, has always been one of my favorites, and her performance as Nishimiya might have been rather short, but incredibly emotional. Koe no Katachi is a movie about many things, about regret, friendship, redemption, self-worth and bullying. I'm sure that every one of us did things in the past which they regret. And that is what this movie is about. I don't think that this movie is everybody's cup of tea. The romance-seeking fans out there might even be a bit disappointed, since this movie is not about your average romance story in which two characters fall in love. Its focus lays in the understanding of the characters and how before they learn to understand another person, they first need to learn to understand themselves. With that in mind, I want to say that if you are open-minded, Koe no Katachi might be one of the most powerful movies you will ever see. As for alternative anime or manga recommendations, I will start off with another anime movie. The Anthem of Heart. Just like Koe no Katachi, the Anthem of Heart involves a girl who has trouble with communicating to the people around her. Both main heroines feel as if they are a burden to others, and think that everything would be better without them. My other recommendation would be the manga Orange. Orange deals with serious issues such as suicide. They are both emotional and deal with the life problems of the main characters. And that's it from me. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video and let me know your opinion on Koi no Katachi. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you again.